Nobody wants anything to do with woke, and nobody wants any of their favorite brands to go woke. Welcome back to the show. Hit that subscribe button. Let's get to the first topic. Trump wants the death penalty for anybody who commits a murder in Washington, D.C. Roll the clip.
Anybody murders something in the Capitol, capital punishment, capital punishment. If somebody kills somebody in the Capitol, Washington, D.C., we're going to be seeking the death penalty. And that's a very strong preventative. And everybody that's heard it agrees with it. I don't know if we're ready for it in this country, but where you have it, it is, we have no choice. So in D.C. and Washington, states are going to have to make their own decision. But if somebody kills somebody, like you could have been killed, very lucky you didn't get killed, it's the death penalty, okay?
First of all, go ahead and comment. Let me know if you're pro-death penalty. I'm definitely pro-death penalty because, you know, in certain situations when somebody's like a cold-blooded killer, you know, and they're just, it's full-on premeditated, and that you basically know, like, wow, this person's a total psycho. Those people, you just need to get rid of those people, right? Taxpayers don't need to be spending money to keep these people in prisons for, you know, 40, 50 years of their lives just doing nothing, rotting away, right? It's like, in some certain situations where somebody commits a murder, but it might be like a crime of passion, or it could be, you know, just pure insanity, then I get it. Maybe we don't want to give those people the death penalty. But some people, you're just like, yeah, that person's a terrible person. This person's doing nothing for society. We cannot let that person back out on the streets. Those are the people we just need to be like, all right, let's just, they're done. They're done, right? And in that case, I'm definitely for it. I'm definitely not for completely abolishing it, you know. And if Trump wants to seek the death penalty in Washington, D.C. because it's the nation's capital, and he thinks if you commit a murder here, then you need to, you know, face the ultimate price too, then I completely understand it. You know, it is the nation's capital. It needs to be the best representation of America we could possibly have, you know, so I get it. I support it, and let me know if you support it too, because I think a lot of people do, and I don't think a lot of people want to spend their tax dollars, you know, just housing these criminals, these cold-blooded murderers in prison for 50 years, right? It's just, well, it's not getting a good return on our investment. But all right, let's get to the next topic. Cracker Barrel has announced they are going back to their old logo after all the backlash they have received. Now let's go ahead and revisit the CEO talking to Good Morning America about how everybody was loving the new changes. Roll the clip.
Honestly, the feedback's been overwhelmingly positive that people like what we're doing. I'll give you another soundbite. I actually happened to be in Orlando last week with all of our managers. We bring them together and once every other year. And the number one question that I got asked, Michael, was, how can I get a remodel? When can I get a remodel? How do I get on the list?
Oh, really?
So because the feedback and the buzz is so good, not only from our customers, but from our team members.
I love the look on Strahan's face when the woman told him that everybody was loving the changes. You could tell that he knew it was going to be a total disaster. I could see the writing on the wall. But go ahead and let me know, do you think Cracker Barrel is going to be able to recover from this? I mean, how many brand destructions do we have to see before these companies start learning that nobody wants anything to do with woke, and nobody wants any of their favorite brands to go woke, right? But once again, when you put a liberal white woman in charge as the CEO, and you put more liberal white women in charge of marketing and everything, this is what you get. They just can't help it because they think they know everything, and they think they know better than you, right? I mean, can you name one thing over the last 10 years that's just been more destructive basically than white liberal women on America? It's just all their policies and everything they stand for is basically anti-America, and it just kills the real America that everybody knows and loves, you know? So yeah, I mean, hopefully Cracker Barrel can recover. I don't know if they can at this point. Just going back to their old logo, everybody's seen what happens, right? We know who you are now. Unless they go and they just completely fire their whole front office and come out and say, yeah, we're never doing that again. We fired everybody responsible for that. You can count on us to just be the great Cracker Barrel that you know and love. I don't think anybody's going to want to go back. But all right, let's get to the next topic here. J.D. Vance had a great line about how public safety should not only belong to the wealthy. Go ahead, roll the clip.
I happen to believe that maybe the most sacred thing that we can deliver to American workers is the ability to live safely and comfortably in their own neighborhoods. Public safety is not just something that should belong to the wealthy. It should belong to every working man and woman in the United States of America. And because of the work of this administration, that is happening.
Yeah, what JD said right there is just so true, because all these rich celebrities and rich politicians who talk liberal out in public and saying, oh, we need to defund the police and blah, 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 all the woke crap. Yeah, when they go home back to their houses, they're living in huge gated communities with a security guard guarding the gates. They're not living by liberal policies when they're at home, right? They're total right-wing conservative atmospheres where they're living, right? So they're making sure that when their homes and their communities are very safe and there's a good police presence, but they want to tell you that you don't need that. Oh, no, we need to defund the police and it's racist, blah, blah, blah. But when they go home at night, they're perfectly safe in their gated community and, their huge hedged houses that nobody can get into. So yeah, it's such a fake narrative that these people are spinning because they don't live it themselves, right? If they actually lived it themselves, where they were out and just living in the community and in unsafe communities and just trying to better their community by going out and doing things and just living in it and, not going back to their huge gated communities at night, I might say, like, okay, at least that person's saying what they live, right? They're practicing what they preach. But none of them are doing that. They just want to let you know that you should defund the police and you don't need any police in your neighborhood and you can just let it go to complete crap and live in squalor while they live in their huge gated communities. So just remember that, folks. And what JD said there, is public safety should not belong to the rich. It's just so true, and the rich are the ones telling you that you basically don't need it. But all right, let's get to the next topic here. Trump completely blasted Biden and touted his own openness of his administration. Go ahead, roll the clip.
Okay, you know what I think? I think this. You have not had this happen for 4 years. You sat and you'd ask one question to Biden, and it was always the ice cream question, right? What flavor ice cream do you like best? I like vanilla. And that was the end of the conference. I think now we've done enough. These people are very busy. I want to just thank, this is the greatest, this has never been done before. First of all, a cabinet meeting was sacred. You'd never let the fake news media in. But the fake news media isn't all fake. A lot of it is, but it's not all. I think it's a great thing. I think maybe it's going to be done in the future. I hope it's going to be done. But you really get the word out. I mean, we had, each one of these people spoke. I think each one, if I thought one of them did badly, I would call that person out. I would say, Christy, what the heck are you doing? No, but no, seriously, you have a very talented group of people. They get along, they work along together. And there's something really nice about just, the openness of what we're doing. It's government. It's an open government. That's what we are. And we haven't made too many mistakes. Maybe we'll, but we haven't made too many mistakes. We've called it right. And I think you can be very proud of your country. We are a respected country again. We are really, right now, respected at the highest level, and we're doing great. And we're a very rich country again, very rich. And that's a good thing, because when we're rich, we can take care of poor. And that's what we're doing. And we're taking care of crime. And I hope, just in finishing, I hope that Illinois, I hope that New York, I hope that California, I hope they call me and they say, I'd love to have you come in and help us out. I will be a totally different person with them. I will respect them for doing it. Thank you all very much.
Yeah, isn't it just totally crazy that we had a president that couldn't even answer a question? Like, when you really put that into perspective, We had a president, the leader of the free world, who couldn't even hold a press conference and answer a question that he didn't know was already coming, right? They had, every time they asked the guy a question, they had to give him the softball, like, what flavor of your ice cream do you like? And I'm glad Trump called that out, because it was so sickening at that point, when that's basically all they were asking. Like, he would come out of the ice cream store and they would laugh and like, oh, what's your favorite flavor? And, chocolate, and that was his press conference for the day. Or anytime he made any sort of, statement, right when he's done, his handlers, no questions. Every single time. The press basically didn't even exist in the White House during Biden. But yeah, I mean, it's a great time we're living in. If you're a fan of politics, you're interested in politics at all right now, the openness of the Trump administration, you just get to see basically everything going on and how the sausage is made. I know everybody's going to say the Epstein files, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we know. We get it. That was Trump's biggest blunder of his administration this time around, but I still think he's cooking, right? I still think the guy's cooking, because these things take time. Remember, folks, it takes time to build a case and basically take down a deep state, right? You can't just get in there day one and be like, yeah, here it is, we're taking them down. No, you got to build a case. But other than that, if you're into politics, it's just, what a time to be alive right now with Trump. You get to wake up, you get to see, like, what did Trump do today? What's Trump doing today? It's just a wild time to be alive, and it's a great time to be alive if you're into politics. But all right, that's it for today. Be sure to like, subscribe, and we'll be seeing you.